broadcast. I'm going to look at this. Gary's iMac. Boom. Hopefully it pulls it up. Yep. There's a TrendSpider chart. This is crazy. FINRA short volume, retail traders. I guess you can't see it. But I'll post this up here. That's a morning, Bill. I gotta go to YouTube. I turn down my volume. For anybody that's wondering, my phone, and Bill, I guess you're the only one on, but my phone didn't charge overnight. This is a Tesla chart of it going up with retail trader going up, but the short volume hasn't been as high as it is right now. So people are shorting Tesla. If you go and look at that chart on TrendSpider, people are shorting Tesla like crazy amounts. I am going to log out and log back in just in case there's a update, which there probably is. But how likely are you recommend? I can't trade without TrendSpider. The charts, indicators, support, and everything. Submit. Oh, no, it is not. This chart is not in. It's not in use. If it's in use, we got big problems. Okay. We're doing earnings week. By the way, if you haven't done so, hit that like button because it does seem to help for some reason. I think it does. Just because you tuned in, just hit the like button. It costs you nothing. That's my freebie for you. Big earnings week, by the way. And I'm going to do some scans now. I have all of the, just so we're aware, I'm going to copy. These are the key earnings this week. So if you want to look at it, that's some of the ones that are going to be in there that I'll look at. There's a lot of people that are saying sell the rally. I probably should log into YouTube Live and one of the things I want to do is start the you can only chat if you subscribe, because I think it said 40% of the people who tune in are not subscribed, which is crazy to me. If you're tuning in and you're chatting, just subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. It's not like we're charging over here. And I'm going to delete that. And full disclosure, last week I ran/walked almost 60 miles. So, core portfolio. If you're new, this is TrendSpider. This is my, morning, Justin. This is my algorithm, which shows you the entry and exit. If you sign up for TrendSpider with the link below and use code DSP25, you get 25% off, and I give you access to my algorithm as long as our watch lists, scans, which we're going to do right now, and everything of the sort. So let's see if anything crossed up in the core portfolio. Oh, God. Are you kidding me? This one's down and it crossed up. It's a secondary cross up, but it's Roblox. Let's get back to my notes. They are behind a screen. Thanks, Mike. Let's see. Roblox. This is definitely a secondary cross up. Here, I'll show you in the algorithm. If we go back to the algorithm and we run our algorithm on this, and I have not Yeah, it's a secondary crossover. With the algorithm, you'd be in this since 26. I said, hey, if it holds on to the 200-day, you could be looking at a rally like this one that goes up to 49. If you're in at 26, if you're in at 30, if you're in at any price, I wish I would have got in at 30. I wanted to do, when it started to cover this gap, that's when I said, okay, we're going to get in here. But I didn't. Your boy didn't. Your boy is not the smartest, the brightest bulb in the batch. Let me check my own personal holdings. Most of my holdings are in the core portfolio. Some of them, though, I haven't been able to get in on. None of our energy stocks have crossed up. But what's interesting is energy seems to be coming down, but gas is at a high. That's what's crazy. This is Exxon. It is a personal holding and in the core portfolio. I like this stock. It's getting a little long in the tooth. Essentially, the sites that I use personally to look up things is TrendSpider. I do some scans, and I use FinViz here, which you can see a firm. And I use for day trading and slower things or faster things, Active Trader Pro, which you're seeing on the screen right here. GNS. It's back in a short squeeze if you haven't looked. It has confirmation. If I pull this back a little bit, you'll see it is well above the 9-day, well above the 21-day. And the Bollinger Bands are kind of opening up right there. So that's a 1-minute chart. If we look at a 5-minute chart, you're going to see it even steeper. It closed at $3.95, and it's currently at $5.64. I just walked in and I was watching it on my phone, and holy crap! It was at $5.50. What's crazy is the 90-day volume is 9 million shares. Okay, 10-day volume is 85 million shares. That's the average volume per day. Right now, you're at almost 8 million shares traded. If we go over to FinViz and you want to see how to look at this, we can type in GNS here. And then in the second to the right column, just before there's the right-hand column that's headed with performance for the week. There's shares outstanding and shares floated. Shares outstanding is 24 million shares. Shares floated is 10 million shares. Shares floated means how many are out in the market being traded. There's 10 million shares. Well, you've already traded in the market today. You have traded 7,927,000, almost 8 million. So you, in pre-market, before the damn thing opens, you've traded a crazy amount. James, run. I usually, what I've been doing is I've been running 3 to 5 miles, and then I just walk to cool down. I try and keep it. My walks do include some running. I think it's between anywhere between 11 minutes and 15 minutes per mile on the walk. The runs, ironically, for some reason, I just haven't been running very well. I guess that's how you'd put it. I just don't feel inspired, and my heart rate gets high. And I hate conspiracy theories. And by the way, one person that I really, really hate that I think is taking it on the chin is Grant Cardone. That guy's just a fucking shill. I mean, he will scam you out of money left and right. I have a friend from high school who actually works for him, who was a Today reporter on the Today Show on NBC, and got bounced off of there because of her lack of ethics, we could say. And she went to work for Grant Cardone. And that is how I know. It's all about money. It's all a scam. She's still there, and we have fellow friends from high school that have told me she's part of the scam, and she's admitted it. Let's see, not owned. ARKG crossed up. Win is a good one. Win, if you didn't know, I think it was Friday. It might have been Thursday or Friday. They were asked, when are you going to make money in Macau? And the CEO said, what are you talking about? We're making money in Macau. So, interesting. PRNT. I don't like that one. CRISPR's one that I would say get into. I mean, this is genomics. Upstart, we talked about Upstart last week. I'm not a fan of theirs, and it's a secondary cross-up. Starwood is one that I probably would get into. It looks like it's going to cover those gaps, so I'm going to bring it up. This is my own personal list that I don't share. It is a little riskier than I think sharing allows. So, ARC Holdings and Knox. What's this? Nano. This is 3D printing. Nano X imaging. Oh, no, that's part of the genomics. BLI. Don't like that one. PRNT, we went over. Coinbase. Coinbase is crossing its 200-day. This is interesting because, I'll bring this up. Bitcoin's on a bit of a pullback. Roblox, we talked about. Joby. Yeah, Mike, lifting weights is probably better for you than running. At least that's what I hear. Oh, I got to go get some water. Those are the ARC funds. Okay, let's move to we're going to go to the Dow 30. Where's the Dow 30? I know it's up here. There it is. I do the Dow 30, nothing, and the Dow 30 has crossed over. Let's look at the NASDAQ 100. I don't do the 500. I do NASDAQ 100, and I know there's going to be a couple in here. There's got to be a couple in here, NASDAQ 100. While this is scanning, I'm going to go grab a cup of water. You know, I'm seeing Jim Cramer on CNBC. I'm wondering how much they pay that guy for that charitable trust. BKNG Booking Holdings. This has been a crazy run. We'll put this in. Anything to do with travel has just been monster. That's over the 200-day. That's a second. ODFL. This is one that has had a pretty phenomenal move. I'll bring it up because it's one that probably should be in the core portfolio, I would think. Laziness is godliness, Mike. S&P 100. We did the NASDAQ, and then I'll go into energy. Okay, now BAKNG is the only one that came up in the S&P. I'm not doing 500. We're just going to do energy now. I probably should do finance, to be honest, but there's so much that comes up in finance. CNX. This is interesting. This is Arch Rock. I don't like that chart, even though it's got the ascending triangle. It's above the 200-day. It's got this gap down here about 899. Let me see, AROC. Wow, PE is expensive. They are in the oil and gas equipment. Initiated, outperformed $10, is increasing its dividend. That's why. Increasing the dividend to 15 cents. It's a 6% dividend. 15 cents is a 15% dividend. No, I'm sorry. 1.5. Wait. I want to read this. On the 14th of February. Oh, okay. 1.5%. Okay. It's 15 cents. If the payments aren't sustainable, high yield for years won't matter. Oh, it's more than earnings. Yeah. I don't like it. No. We're not going to go with that one. Okay. So I think this is going to be it. We got a lot to cover. We got a lot to cover. There's the Fed expected 25 rate point hike earnings this week. Almost everybody that I know. Intel, by the way. It's not one that I hold. It is one that my father holds in his portfolio. I've often said it. Any reaction in the market is an overreaction. This has an ascending triangle here. That $26 got you all the way up to $30 before it crapped out. So you had a 20% move. This one down here, you've got two green candles. One that went all the way up to 28. Looks like we closed at about 28.15. Let me just look in INTC. I'm going to look in Active Trader Pro. We are down at 27.71. You closed at 28.16. I told my dad if you get to 30, sell it. It'll get back to 30. I mean, it's at 27. I have no doubt in my mind it's going to get back to 30 at some point. It's trading right around the 200-day, and chips are just too good to not trade around the 200-day. I mean, this was just a horrible report. Horrible report. Let's see if analysts came out and downgraded Intel. Reiterated $33 price target. Reiterated $24 price target. Resumed $32 price target. 31, 31, 28. I mean, it's still around a $30 price target. You got an 8.69 PE, 5% dividend. The problem that you have with this one, the reason why I told my dad to sell this one is the dividend comes into question. Look, you got 29 cents a share back here in August. In October, 59 cents a share. And then here in January, 10 cents a share. If you're only making 10 cents a share, how are you paying a 5% dividend? You can't. You just can't. You can't while putting money back into the business. So, it's just not a good thing. If you wanted to use our 65-minute algorithm on this, this is what's interesting. This is a 65-minute candle. You buy when the price gets over the candle. You sell when it gets under the candle. And it's an interesting one because this one on a short term, I'm going to just do 1,000 candles. It loses you 30% versus the buying and holding over 1,000 candles loses you 36%. Your max drawdown is 40%. So, I mean, you can see all the buys, entries, and stuff like that. Your average win is 1.41%. It's not a great one to trade on this. Now, if you use our 4-hour algorithm on this one, this goes back. I'm doing 1,000 candles because it's 500 trading days. You lose 58% versus buying and holding loses you 51%. So it's not great. Okay. But I do have a lot to go over, so I'm going to start the podcast now. And if you're here, just hit the thumbs up button so you can see, so it helps. And subscribe. I mean, come on, it costs you nothing to subscribe. You don't even have to put the alerts on. Most of you guys have the alerts on, I know that, so you know when I get live. But if you're just subscribe, hit the like button. Okay, let's get moving. Good morning. It is Monday, January 30th, and we have 2 more days of January to go. I think we have 2 more days for January to go. I probably should look at a calendar just to make sure. Yeah, we have 2 more, today and tomorrow for January. And if you weren't tuned in, I ran/walked close to 60 miles last week, so I'm going to get back at it today. I'm late on getting onto the podcast just because my phone didn't charge. And if you've ever been the victim of not having a charged phone, I've been the victim of not having a charged watch in the morning. I have never been a victim of not having a charged phone in the morning. But essentially, I got up, thought my phone was dead, plugged it in. It wouldn't even show up on the plug-in. I was like, oh, man, I got to go to the Apple store. I don't have an extra phone. Just that amazing panic that you have. And you know what it reminded me of? I'm bullish Apple. Because who can live without their phone? I mean, that panic was just like, okay, oh my God, I'm panicking. Now, here's the killer part about this. Our 4-hour algorithm that I have on TrendSpider, your performance over 1,000 candles. And remember, there's a morning candle and an afternoon candle. So it's 500 trading days for 1,000 candles. If you traded Apple on this, you would have made 24% over the past 2 years, 500 trading days, versus buying and holding made you 7.71%. Now, traditionally, if I go even back, we will go back on this one just to test it deep. 7,000 candles, which is 3,500 trading days. It makes no sense to trade this. I can tell you right now, even before it pulls up. The algorithm makes you 2,215%. Buying and holding makes you 4,035%. So I tell people, just don't trade it. Just own it. When the algorithm tells you to get in, get in. Ironically, told you to get in here January 4th. We've had a great rally here in January of pretty much everything that's been beaten up through 2022. 127 was the buy-in. Today you're at 145. On Friday, you went up to, it looks like about 146, 147. You're 145 right now. But with my phone dying, God, it just makes me happy that I have a ton of stock in Apple, whose earnings come up Thursday. We will go into more of the earnings play. I've got the entire earnings dollar signs up above. You can see them in the chat window. We'll go over some of those, some of the highlighted ones that I think will be good to look at. This week happening as well is the Fed. The Fed's expected to raise by a quarter point, 0.25%, if they decide to do a half-point rate increase, which some economists think is better. Market will crash. You'll see it completely crash. Wouldn't be a horrible thing because the reality of the economy is it's still strong. And you're seeing that in most of the sectors moving pretty much in an upward direction. So I do, one of the things that happened on Friday, which just sent the market soaring, was AXP. It's American Express. American Express said the consumer is strong. There is an enormous gap here from 158 all the way up to 165. That's an enormous gap in American Express. Gaps will be a magnet that is above the 200-day. I don't know when this one comes back down to do that. I'm not shorting it. I'm not buying it. I'm not looking to put any money into this right now. But they said the consumer is strong. This one has been beaten down. If we look at a longer term one of this one, I do think that this is a great stock to buy and hold. Longer term, a weekly chart of this one shows the 200 days at 137. It was there back in October. During the October S&P lows, this one went down to 137. Today, you're trading at 172. Last week's candlestick, the low was 151. The high was 175. That's a 13% move in a week, in 1 week. So this one's got some huge, huge momentum. You might see this on the screen. You might see this gap down here between 109 and 99. That was from November 2nd, 2020. As we move a little bit away from that and it's under the 200-day, it kind of becomes less relevant. So American Express, great company. You look at it up around 200 here during its highs of March 2022 when the travel boom was really happening. I think you're seeing a second travel boom. And I think American Express probably will hit above $200. Most of the people that I listen to have said sell the tech rally. You can see Apple here at 144. Amazon is still holding on to over 100. Their earnings come up on Thursday, as well as Apple. The 200-day is at 102. It's at 101. You've got a gap down here between 86 and 87. As it holds the 200-day, this becomes less relevant, but there could be Amazon doesn't have an earnings problem. They have been earning great on their earnings. I have to pause. I have so much. I ate a ton of chocolate chips for breakfast. Yeah, your boy eats healthy. Chocolate chips. I shoveled them into my mouth. I was dying. I just figured out. I think over the last week, I've had 6,000 calories in chocolate chips. But not to get off point. Let's move back to this. So Amazon, sorry, I had to take a sip of water. My guess is if they announce that they've reduced their costs, you're going to see this one probably hover around 105, 106 after earnings. That would be my guess. Getting over 100 is a super positive thing. December 30th, you had a buy-in on our algorithm at $83. This one is super expensive. Make no mistake about it. It is still expensive. The PE is 94. This one is growing to deserve that PE. The problem is that, with high PEs, rising interest rates, the market doesn't like it. So you'll have to make your determination on that one, whether it's worth it. But we'll go over all of that. Intel reported as well on Friday. And that was just a horrific report. Intel in this ascending triangle was up. It got you out with a 7% gain on Friday. The buy-in was here on December 30th at $26. You've got the MACD crossing down. You got the RSI down at 41. I don't hold this one. It is not in our core portfolio, but it does track along with some of our reported earnings that are coming up. AMD is reporting on Tuesday. This one, you've had a buy-in here since December 29th at 64. You're at 75. There are gaps all the way down on this one. I would be nervous with Intel's report about this one holding its 200-day here at 68. Intel is by itself as far as the chips go, but AMD might be a little bit, you might be coming back down here to the 200-day at 68. I hold this one at a significantly higher price. I think it's around 80 something is what I own this one. It might be closer to 100 because I think I bought it in April of last year. But I do hold this at a significantly higher price. I have been dollar costing average in, but the large buy that I did was back here. I probably should have gotten rid of it. I had a chance to get rid of it. I don't exactly know when I bought it. I'm not going to look it up now. NVIDIA is another one that reports, let's see, they report on February 22nd. So you've just had this crazy, crazy run. Now you can't see this, but NVIDIA had some crazy sales from some EVPs. So EVP Chief Financial Officer Colette Kress Colette, sold $2 million worth. Soquist Deborah sold $4 million worth. Mark Stevens, who's a director, sold 3, sold 7, sold about $40 million worth, maybe 50, over the beginning of January. So they're selling into this strength before they get into the blackout. Now, the RSI is at 78. What's crazy is they've done all these sales and the stock has continued. Big money has been getting out of this and the stock has continued to rise. They may know something about the earnings February 22nd. That's typically what you look at with insiders selling right before earnings, is that they may know something. Who knows? The one that is, the NVIDIA is in our core portfolio, but the one I typically recommend, and the reason is simply based on the PE. NVIDIA's PE is 86. Like I said, Amazon is 94. So I don't hold it against NVIDIA. I think their growth is similar to Amazon in that NVIDIA's technology is just as good. But the reason I recommend Qualcomm is their PE is 11. This is a stock semiconductor chip that is used in self-driving for Volkswagen. They have a 2.25% dividend. Year to date, they're up 21%. NVIDIA is up year to date 39%. They only have a 0.08% dividend. But I do recommend Qualcomm, and Qualcomm has just been on a crazy run. We got this buy-in here, 107. And it's continued to move up. Their earnings are February 2nd this week. I want to say, I don't see it on the list, but it is February 2nd earnings post-market. So it is post-market, so you can play it Thursday, It looks like Thursday post-market. We can go over some of the other earnings this week. Meta. Meta's earnings this week are interesting because this one has had, the run doesn't look crazy, but you go back to November 2nd, 95. You're at 151 right now. That is a crazy run for a company as big as Meta. You're heading into a kind of quarter where advertising dollars are reducing. If they announce something that they have reduced their spending on the metaverse from some crazy number, and have, or they announce that the metaverse is going to be broken off from the company, both are kind of big things that could be announced. You'll see this as a $200 stock by the end of the month. So by the end of February, I should say. But again, it kind of depends on the Fed meeting, blah, blah, blah. But 95 to 151, and you still have confirmation. There's some gaps down here. If we zoom in on this one, there are some gaps. But it doesn't move that much each day, but it's just continued its climb up. And you're above that 9-day. I don't know that I'd necessarily buy into this one. The RSI is at 79. That MACD is super, super high up there. And if they, for some reason, Zuckerberg, I don't think he will, but if for some reason he says something that is a little out of step with the market, you'll see that back down to 120. Now, Google Google broke 100. This one we had a buy-in here at $88. The RSI is high again at 66. The MACD is high. They have their earnings on Thursday after the bell. We buy GOOG, not GOOGL. There was a lawsuit by the DOJ last week that scared some people. Don't be scared of it. It's like 2% of their business. And if they're forced to break up, they're just going to give you stock in that company. They may even sell that company off to somebody else. Doesn't make a huge difference to their earnings. Again, I say anything under 100, add to your position on this one. Exxon is coming up. They report tomorrow, pre-market. So this is one, you saw Chevron's reactions to earnings. They were not good, but Chevron increased their dividend. Chevron increased the buyback. They took some political heat on this one. I expect Exxon to do something similar. It's probably a huge earnings. UPS is one that is it's not in our core portfolio. I haven't liked this one since it got under 200. I think it needs to kind of show that it can hold that 200 before we kind of get back into this one. But it's holding the 200-day. But I'm talking about $200 per share. It's not a bad stock. It's just, it's shipping. FedEx probably has a bigger opportunity to actually turn around. I don't think they're reporting. They already reported. FedEx is more of a turnaround operation than UPS is. UPS is just, hey, we've got a good dividend, good growth. We're going to be there. General Motors reports, and this is one that it'll be interesting. You have a buy-in here on the algorithm at $37.92. This is not one that I typically would say buy into. They've had more bankruptcies than any other car company, and the government has bailed them out over and over and over again. This is a company that says they're getting into electrification and then goes ahead and sells 26 cars in a quarter that are electric. So I don't believe a word that they say. It's been a fairly good trading opportunity. Your average win on this one is 6.58%. The problem is you only win 30% of the time. So pick and choose your battles. Even though this is a buy-in here at $37.92, I think you could make it to 40 if they announce something crazy on earnings, and don't put it past GM to hype this one. But the RSI is at 66 and the MACD is kind of up there. So if you're in at 33, if you're in at 30, I'd probably hold on and just say, you know what? I'm going to take my chances. You're finally above the 200-day. It's taken you a month to get back there. But you're right at the 200-day. If you're going above the 200-day, I wouldn't expect anything more than 42. Nothing more than 42. If you get to 41, sell the F out. I mean, it's as simple as that. One of the weekly stock picks, I haven't looked at his weekly stock pick this week, but Caterpillar has been big on his list. They report, I want to say, let's say, it is January 30th. So it's today. Did they report pre-market or do they post-market? I don't know. But this is one that's on the list. Ford, since we just went over GM, we might as well go over the Jim Cramer Ford hype rally. Jim Cramer has not been talking about this one a lot, but it's covered its gap. Went all the way back up here to 1340 and covered this gap. Kind of said when it was at 11, December 29th, hey, there's a gap up here. Probably will cover it. There's no more gaps. I would expect this one. The Ford F1 Lightning is a really impressive truck. I got to tell you, I've seen a bunch on the road. I like it. I mean, it just looks like a Ford F-150. If other car companies can do that with their current cars, just, put a skateboard battery on it and boom. Snap is one. It's reporting tomorrow. This is an interesting one. It's reporting after the bell with AMD, and I think those are the two big ones that they're expecting. But Snap, you had this buy-in here December 23rd at 867. You're only up at 1091, which is a great move. But in this market, it hasn't been a oh my God move. You're just at this 200-day, which is right at about 1012. You're above that one by a little bit. The big thing will be, have they turned around some of the ad spending that they warned about? You do have this gap up here at 12. You could see that come into play. I wouldn't expect the gaps up to 15 and the other gap up to 22 to come into play during this earnings. Maybe during this year if ad revenue kind of returns. But that's kind of the way I see it. Spotify. I host my podcast on Anchor, which is owned by Spotify. I'm not a huge Spotify fan, even though they pay me. And part of the reason is, in my opinion, for the amount of listens that I get, they pay me too much. And I hate to say that, but Spotify is probably paying me too much. Now, I think they pay me a percentage of what the ad revenue is. I have a super, and thanks to you guys, I have a super high CPM, which is cost per 1,000. So every 1,000 plays, I think it's like $15, $18, somewhere in that neighborhood, which means that you guys buy a lot of shit. That's essentially what it means. You guys buy a ton of crap. So, and you know, you have a lot of spending power. So they get to charge advertisers more, which means that they make more money, which means that I make more money. I just tend to think based on the degenerates that I talk to. And I love you guys, but when you tell me to go over GNS, or, you know, you throw up there, hey, what do you think about ape stock? Come on. You have spending power and you're spending it on ape stock? Now, mind you, I made money in Bed Bath & Beyond, short squeeze. I made some money on GameStop back in its day. I did some of those momentum plays, but you can call me what you want. I think Spotify, they announced that they're cutting some costs. You can see 91 cents, a dollar loss here in October, 91 cent loss here in July. The losses are extending. They hired too many people. They're well above the 200-day. This run has been crazy from 78 up to 102. When you go back here, there's this gap that goes up to 110. If they announce something this week that is crazy as far as earnings, or they've gotten even further with their layoffs, 177, you've got a gap here, but they're not making money. And let me reiterate that. This is a company that is not making money and is paying me a lot of money. Performance year to date up 29. They're right in the middle of their 52-week range between 69 and 208. You're 50% below your 52-week high. You're 47% above your 52-week low. The latest, Jefferies downgraded them, buy to hold with a $95 price target. Well, you're trading at 102. So those guys know a little bit more than me. We went over Qualcomm. MRK has been one of my stock picks. Latest as well. It is up 0.1%. You're in this ascending triangle. The RSI, it was just overbought going into this. I mean, when you have from September an $87 price target on a company like MRK, which hasn't done a ton of announcements, which doesn't have products in the pipeline that are like crazy, it's just a well-run company. It's going to pull back down to this 100, I think. But their earnings are February 2nd, post-market. So that's Thursday. This is one that probably will get some hype. I mean, it doesn't have a cross-up. You're on the downside of the 9-day. I wouldn't buy it. If you get, for some reason, this thing down around 100 prior earnings, I'd probably pick some up, because that earnings, I have a feeling, the earnings is going to be a catalyst. You can see their earnings have been catalysts before, so I like it. I just don't know. One that's interesting that I just see in the list, COP. This is in our energy stocks that we trade typically. 117 was the buy-in here on January 5th. You're at 123 right now. So not a huge run-up, but a pretty good one. It's holding on to its 200-day. They come out with earnings February 1st. Is it before or after the bell? Let me see. It is... it's not telling me right now. But COP is one that I trade. Next one, Mosaic, MO. This is Altria Group. Mosaic is MOS. MO, This is one that we had a cross up last week. You got out of it. Ironic. 45.22. I said, I just don't like it. This is one with vapors and smoking, and can't bring myself to invest in that stuff. TMUS. This is T-Mobile. They're the leader in mobile phones. You can see their stock hasn't done super well. But when you look at it against Verizon, which has been a monster, which actually today has another cross up at $40.64. This one you just got out with a 6% gain while you had the dividend, which pays off at about 6%. You had their earnings come in. They were not so great, but 40.64, still think it's a good stock. AT&T, they came out with their earnings. They were okay. I mean, they shot up. That's a data glitch that you saw. They did shoot up, though. I think anything under 20 on this one, you could probably buy into. They have a great dividend. The dividend is not in danger anymore. 5.56% dividend on AT&T. That's why I wouldn't get T-Mobile. Just not a huge fan. StarBucks is coming out with earnings. And they report, it looks like, on February 2nd after the bell. This is one that has just been on a crazy, crazy tear. I mean, back here in October at 87, and you're looking at 109 right now. You had a buy-in on the algorithm at 99.41. You got a gap down here between 101 and 102. This one kind of depends on, how are they running the business? Simple as that. Starbucks doing well. Well, is China reopening? Whatever they say, probably will get a pump up. Peloton. I've talked about how I like Peloton app. I have not resubscribed. So I wouldn't expect this one to be a huge popper. I could be completely wrong. Peloton reports February 1st, pre-market. This one has had, make no mistake, they are not making money. The stock is kind of in the middle. Its low was $6.66. You've doubled that. You're at 89% above your 52-week low. You're 68% below your 52-week high of $40. $40. If we look at a long-term chart of Peloton, a weekly chart of Peloton, you're just gaining. You don't have a 200-day because it hasn't been on the market that long. But you're just gaining confirmation above your 9-day. You're just touching the 50-day, which is at 1398. Question is, have they turned the corner? I just don't think so. I mean, could you get 15 on this one? You could. It's in this ascending triangle. It's got all the confirmation in the world. There is a gap that goes up to here, 1321. So maybe with your earnings, you do that. Just beware the RSI is super, super high. We can go over. There's a bunch more. I posted them all here. I'll post them in the notes down below. One that I do want to go over is IWM. This is the Russell 2000 ETF. You had a golden cross on the daily, but remember our 4-hour chart crosses up early. The golden cross here was January 24th. You have all the confirmation in the world. This is the Russell 2000. If we look at the daily, it's just crossing up. So that golden cross of the 50-day crossing the 200, I wanted to bring that up because while it's run quite a bit and it's been doing well, this confirmation above the 200-day is fairly big. You're covering this gap that goes here to 187. The next gap to cover is up here at 227, which happened way back in November 2021. So, Bill Murray, my favorite groundskeeper, wanted me to go over a couple of things. Recently bought UA, which is Under Armour. I wear Under Armour. I talk about how I wear a ton of Under Armour. This has been a great trade, Bill. If you got down here October 24th in here at $6.25, holy crap. You're at $10.71. In the meantime, you've had a couple of trades in here. I would be worried that it's this far over the 200-day because, God, I mean, Again, this is a clothing brand that I personally wear a lot of. You do have this gap up here to 13, which seems like the next leg up. The 200-day has finally started to move positive. You had that golden cross up here. The RSI is at 64. It's kind of in no man's land. You do have, if I were to pull it back to the last gap, let's pull it back here, and that's May 5th, 2022. As far as the volume shelves, I think you still have support here at 1017, but the major is at 875. So I'd rather see you hold on to it a little bit, a little carefully. Make sure you have your stop losses in there. Tesla, God forbid I go over Tesla. I'm so sick that I missed out on this one. You got a gap here between 257 and 262, which is clear and obvious. You don't have any real volume. Your significant volume is up here at the 200-day at 222. This is why I think you're going above 200, is because you have that thing. I showed before, here's a daily chart, and you can't see the bottom, but the bottom is the short. Let me just tell you, the short on this one, I posted the link down below, but the short volume in this is as high as it's been in a year. The retail trading volume is as high as it's been in a year. Something's coming to pass here. They've announced their earnings, so I don't expect anything. I know that I got a bunch of texts over the weekend about hardware 4 for full self-driving. I am on hardware 3, and my car can't be upgraded to hardware 4. So Elon is saying that my car probably can't get full self-driving on the basis of, hey, we're going to let you close your eyes and sleep, even though he's promised that. Who knows? But I paid like $5,000, I think, at the time of sale for full self-driving. So if I get some back, great. If I don't, so be it. Tesla owners, you got to kind of, tighten your butthole a little bit. Whatever Elon says, you kind of take it with a grain of salt. You can join a class action lawsuit if you want to, but God forbid. I mean, the privileged people that have a Tesla, God, just be happy, people. Throw your money in the stock, you'd be happy. One guy I read, one guy back in December, a famous Tesla, pretty big Tesla guy. He sold his house for $2 million back in November to try and put more money into Tesla stock. And he did it. He's way up again. And you can look up his story, just Google it. But I hate to say sell Tesla. The RSI is at 85. The MACD is way up there. You've got your earnings. Look at the volume. Volume drives this thing. And for some reason, are you positive today? Yeah, you're positive. In a negative day, you're positive on this one. Bill, I ain't telling you to sell it because I've been wrong on selling it. I sold it down here at about 120. So, it could have bought back in at 100. It is what it is. CCAP. I think I went over this one for you. Crescent Capital. It's been a good one for you. Bill, you're a legend on this one. I won't go over this one again. You still have confirmation, so I'd probably still hold on to it. Honest to God, there's no reason to sell this one. Let's look at his next one. It is Bank of America. This is a core portfolio holding. I don't think you sell this one. I know it came down here a little bit. It looks like it opened up down at 35 since the market just opened up. You have a buy-in here at 34. You're above the 200-day. You're still above the 9-day. I think I'd hold on to it. Honest to God, they had their earnings. There's nothing, the Fed raises rates. This bank makes more money. What do you want? DOMA. Let's see. He says he's down on DOMA. Serves you right with all those great other buys. You're down quite a bit on this one. Dude, hold on to it. I can't. It's probably not making money at this price. Does it have a P? Yeah, it's not making money. This is a real estate services. They don't have a dividend. They're not making money. The monkeys haven't really covered it. Citigroup says back in December it's a 45-cent price target. It is trading now at 69 cents. I would probably say get out of it once it loses its 9-day confirmation. But right now you're in a soaring trend. DOMA. Let's see. Let's look it up on. It is right now trading at 70 cents. 70 cents. And it's down. I mean, it went all the way up to about 74 cents. I'd probably hold on to it, Bill. I mean, it's got a red candle, but the 9 days at 62 cents. So if it gets down below 62 cents, sell the fuck out of that thing. But don't be afraid that you're down from where you were. If you believe in it, dollar cost average it. I would advise against it since it's not a money-making stock. Hopefully, you're down just a little bit. Let's go over some scans. Some scans with cross-ups. Roblox. I think this is a secondary cross-up, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's a secondary cross-up. 2661 was the buy-in here on December 29th. You've still got confirmation above that 9-day. Wait for this candle to hit the 9-day, but you're down at 3674. I don't think that this holds the 200-day. Your earnings are coming up on February 14th, Valentine's Day. Give your lover a kiss because of Roblox. Simple as that. Your Bollinger Bands are kind of syncing up. They're not super synced up. Your MACD's kind of high. Your RSI's at 61, but I'd hate to say sell the F out of this one. I think if you do get down to 35 today, for some reason, if this stock just collapses and you get down to 35 and you've bought between 26 and 30, just sell it. Just sell it because you can buy back in. Just don't be greedy. That 35.70 right at the 200-day, if that loses the 200-day, you're probably coming back down into the 30 range. So I'd say hold on to it there. Another cross-up of one that I don't own, but I can own, I think, in the next couple of days, because I did sell it at the end of December for a loss, is ARKG. And this is a secondary cross-up because January 3rd, right after I sold the bitch, it had a cross-up, 28.63, and you're at 33.49. Great trade if you got into it. And I know I went over this trade because I was regretting my sale ever since I did it, but I did take some losses. You had the cinch up of the Bollinger Bands right here. Your RSI was in no man's land at about 48, but it was coming off an RSI at about 29. Your RSI today is at 61. This is a secondary cross-up, and it's a small cross-up because your MACD is super high. Don't expect this one to get back up here in the 36 range. I don't think on this run that's in the cards. I think for some reason this pulls back to 32, even though it's got this secondary MACD cross-up. You can see it's not a super high cross-up, and it's starting to cross down. So I wouldn't expect this one to go up. Win. Why did I say G? Win Resorts. They were asked Friday, I think it was Friday or Thursday, when are you going to make money in Macau? And the CFO or the CEO, somebody kind of turned their head, kind of like when a dog hears a high-pitched squeal, turns their head and said, we're making money in Macau. What are you talking about? And they're not even open fully in Macau. So this is one that probably continues this run from 84, which was January 3rd, up to 100. If you can get this under 100, I think you're good because this is the one leader in Macau. Between Winds and Las Vegas Sands, I think, are the two that have the biggest exposure to Macau. They're not making money. Be careful. This is a company that currently is not making money. Does Winds earnings? Winds earnings come up on February 14th. Kiss your lover for Wynn Resorts. That's it. CRISPR, which is a part of ARKG. If you don't understand genomics, you don't understand this space at all, just get ARKG. I mean, they're the kind of big research house for this one. January 3rd, cross up was $41. You're at $51 right now. Your 200 days at 54. That's going to play some resistance right there. Your earnings are coming up February 14th. Kiss your lover for some CRISPR. But yeah, $54 right there. I would say that is your top. It's a secondary cross up. Again, it's a weak cross up. I wouldn't expect it to continue to go up. That's a crazy run. But again, this week, you got to worry about Fed. That's essentially what you got to worry about. Starwood, STWD. This is a travel name. And you'll see we have one other travel name that's coming up. This is a secondary cross up here, 1887 on January 4th. That's not a crazy run considering where we've gone. You have this gap here between 2107 and 2131. So you still probably have about 10, maybe 5% to go to fill this gap. It's kind of holding the 200-day. Your earnings are March 1st, so they're way out. But your MACD is high. Your RSI is high. I don't know that I'd necessarily get into this one. If you dip under 20, I think that gap here at 21 probably comes into play, and it's probably a good one. The algorithm loses you 3%. Buying and holding this one over 1,000 candles makes you 7%. The average win on this is 6%. You win about 30% of the time. So it's an interesting one. I'd probably just play it to actually just own it, to be honest with you. I think they have this is 9% dividend, PE at 7. I'd probably under 20. I'd probably just buy it, to be honest with you. It's a crazy good dividend. Another travel name, BKNG, Booking Holdings. If you, I think they own Expedia. They own Priceline, I think. This has been a crazy good run. $19.98 and not $19.98, $1,998. December 27th, you're at $24.39. What's that, 25% right now? It has used the 200-day as its support level. So your 200-day is right around 2,000. You have this volume shelf here at about 2,000. I think all the roads lead to 2,000. If you want to know the reality of the situation, their earnings are coming up February 22nd. So I'd be a little bit careful. The MACD is super, super high. The RSI is at 73. This is a secondary cross up. Still has confirmation over that 9-day. I'd be a little bit careful. With all of the increase in Bitcoin and crypto, Coinbase has slowly risen from $35 on December 23rd. That was the buy-in in the algorithm. It got all the way down to $31.55. So you lost money in this run. And then all of a sudden it takes off. You're at almost $60 today. $60. There's this gap up here between 79 and 82. If it holds the 200-day, the earnings are coming up February 21st. But if it holds this 200-day, I'd say for another couple of days, look at this gap up here between 78 and 82 getting filled. The MACD is super high at 7. The RSI is super high at 70. The Bollinger Bands have synced up and it's moving upward. So I think you do have some move in that one. And finally, Old Dominion Freight. This one looks like an ogre. I don't know why. I always think of like Shrek with this. ODFL. Don't ask me why that reminds me of Shrek. But ODFL, Old Dominion Freight. This is a crazy, crazy good stock. You had a buy-in here at 287. You're at 325 right now. Now you're holding the 9-day, but you came down from this 336 down to 325. They're down today. The MACD is crossing down. It crossed up, but it's crossing down. Their earnings are coming up January 31st tomorrow. I think it's post-market. It's pre-market tomorrow. So you do have confirmation going into earnings on this one. There was a freight line last week that I think reported some bad earnings, so do your due diligence on that one. KOLD, I'm just seeing KOLD is on a run. That means that natural gas is coming down in price. I've told you guys, I am not trading KOLD. I'm not trading Boyle. There is too much uncertainty in this natural gas market. It is warm as F outside. Right now, outside here in Atlanta, it is 50 degrees. It's going to reach 60 degrees in January. 60 degrees in January. Usually, I'm not applying my pre-emergent. I told you guys in kind of my ad for Anchor that I love lawns too. I usually put my pre-emergent down in mid-February. I'm going to have to do that. I was planning on doing it last week. I'm going to do it this week. It's crazy, crazy So, yeah, KOLD, Boyle, do with it what you will. GNS, by the way, is back in its short squeeze. We went over this one. It's at $5.23. It's down from almost $6 in the pre-market. It has traded 22 million shares so far today and is $9.41. So do your due diligence. I am getting on to probably day trade a little bit, but I am going for my 10-mile walk again / run today. And I am still editing that TrendSpider video. I got lazy over the weekend. Your boy is retired. Don't push me. Don't make fun of the agenda. So have a great day. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Watch the earnings tonight. After the bell is NXP, Semiconductors, and HP. I think those are the two that I'm particularly watching to try and determine, do I want to buy AMD? Do I want to buy Qualcomm? Both of those earnings are coming up later this week. NXP and I think HP will determine, am I good buying those? AMD I have to dollar cost average into, so it would just be adding to my position. If you have any questions, hit me up. If you are on YouTube right now, hit that like button and subscribe. Do me a favor. If you made it this far on the podcast and you're listening on Spotify or you're listening on Apple Podcasts, hit the 5 stars for me. Leave a review on Apple. Just tell me what you think. Tell me I'm a douchebag. Tell me I should vape. Tell me I should take off my shirt, which you don't want. You don't want your boy taking off his shirt. But do whatever you want. I mean, please, just, it's part of what My First Millions calls gentleman's agreement. The gentleman's agreement is I give you stock tips. You guys do just, a little bit. I'm not asking for tips, even though you can tip me. I ask that if you make money, you tip me like a bartender on some of these trades. But, just leave me a review or subscribe, specifically on YouTube. I'd like you guys to subscribe on YouTube. So if you're listening on Spotify and you've already left a review, a 5-star review, go to YouTube and subscribe. Do me that favor. Gentleman's agreement. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Enjoy. Have a great day. I talk too much, man. And I got to let my dog out. She's been walking around. She hasn't pooped. Zephin, you're positive on Peloton? Hold on. I'm going to look at the Peloton chart again. Dude, you've held on for a while if you're positive on Peloton. Did you buy it this high? I know it had confirmation, man. Did it cover this chart, this gap? Hey, it's covered that gap before. You got a double top. Let's see. Where's my chart patterns? Double top. See? You got a double top. George. By the way, guys, George is one of my friends in real life that I was a degenerate at Earthlink with. George can tell you. By the way, George, welcome to the group. And these are the degenerates who all lose money on all of my stuff. ARDE. Oh, I think we've done this one. ARDELXY. Let me see. I think we've done this one. ARDX. I think that's a Zephin, you'll know. Is this a Tom stock? This is one I think James has made money on. Here's the algorithm, George. $1.78 on November 17th. You probably close to doubled your money, but it got you out just today with a 60% gain. Hey, Brandon, Brittany, bitch. So ARDX. Let's go over to FinViz. This ain't making money. They ain't making money. George performance year to date, you're up 252%. It's only 17% off its 52-week high, but it's 477% above its 52-week low. November 17th, Piper Sandler put an $8 price target on it. There's a bunch of things, 7 A-rated stocks to buy for less than $24. Added again this AM. Let's see, any insider sales. Your insiders haven't sold since November. A director on November bought $1 million worth. That's the last largest. So he believes, and his cost was $1.76 in November. That's a crazy good one. That's a Tom pick. So George, Dr. Tom, who's a bit wordy, and I think has overtaken our Facebook group. He's a doctor who does believe in this stock. I've said if you're going to do this, it's above the 200-day. That gap worries me a little bit. Their earnings are coming up February 27th. Throw a couple $100 in there, but not today. That MACD, the MACD is crossing down. So this is what my entire algorithm is based on, this MACD. That yellow line is the strike line, and that blue line is the MACD line. You want it down somewhere around here, and that's why you see that $1.78. You want it down somewhere around here to buy. And to sell, you wait for these moving averages to move. George, at some point you'll have to come over and I'll show you the whole algorithm and stuff. You get special treatment. Yeah, I would say if you're looking to get back into this one, and I wouldn't suggest timing, but it does look like, let's point to, I want to say here we've got 3 points. And I would say that probably is the range that I'd be looking at. And I think, you could move this down in this neighborhood too, to say that this would be the bottom, down around 171. I just think it's too high up there. I think that it's going to, it's held the 50-day, but not with the MACD crossing down like that. It's a green candle today. Looks like it's at $2.90. So, shit, throw it in GNS, George. This is my favorite recent. Let's see where Boyle is. Boyle and KOLD are Boyle's at down 10%. $7.60. Look at that move when it opened up in pre-market. KOLD has been here. We're going to go back to Safari. I might get rid of this one. Move. Yes. KOLD is the crazy one. Have you doubled your money in this one? $17.40. Wow. $17.40 was the buy-in here on December 19th. And what's crazy is your volume shelf level support is still 43. Now here's the killer. If we go to a weekly, you've come up above that channel that I said was the channel here. You've come above it. At some point, you just got to wonder, when does it move down to this 23 area? Boyle, on the other hand, we talked about this one. And we have that long-term channel if we go to the weekly here. It still hasn't hit the bottom. Still hasn't hit the $4 that I think it's going to go to. FRGT. Let's look at FRGT. And VRO, man, I got to go to Active Trader Pro because your shit never makes money. FRGT. Let's see. 54 cents. What the hell's this one doing? Hold on. Safari. Freight Technologies. They ain't making money. Leading trucking company versus platform. It's got 9 million shares out there. It's a micro cap. It's up 115% year to date. Man, I'm seeing the support at 22. I'm not seeing why it's coming back up here for some reason. FRGT. Let's go back to Aptitude Trader Pro. Because there's nothing that's going to tell me. This is all news driven. Your 10-day volume is 5 million shares. Your 90-day volume is 2 million shares. And today you've traded almost 19 million shares. Is it halted? No, I'm just on a 15-minute candle. Let's move to a 5-minute candle. I think it's halted. Or my Active Trader Pro is frozen. One or the other. Because my Active Trader Pro, I know when the market opens, for some reason, it doesn't like the OBS that I have as well. Yeah, I think my Active Trader Pro is frozen. I'm going to restart this puppy. Force quit. No, okay. Active Trader Pro. Let me. I exported already. I'm gonna quit GarageBand. Save. Then I'm gonna go over here to Anchor. Did you guys like how I said Anchor's paying me too much? They do. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with trading momentum, VRO. I gotta check. Hold on. I'm getting back into Active Trader Pro stuff, and I'll check BBBY. Isaiah, I'm so sorry you bought Tesla. I ain't telling anybody to buy Tesla. I'm not telling anybody to sell Tesla. Tesla's one of those, man. You got to make up your mind which side you're on and then just go. BBBY. Shit, yeah, it's squeezing. Here's what I notice about Bed Bath & Beyond. The volume is trickling up. This is a 1-minute candle. Let's go to a 5-minute candle so we can see it a little bit better. I don't want that big of a view. I just want this small view. You're outside the Bollinger Bands on a 5-minute. You got them kind of really expanded here. The problem I have with Bed Bath & Beyond is it's gotten almost 10 million shares traded a half hour into the market. Your 10-day volume is 85 million. You're going to get to above the, it might be worth throwing some money into based on the amount of volume that you have. I mean, that includes pre-market. So I'm not sure it's, let's see. I mean, right now I'd be afraid to buy it, but maybe I'll put $100 into it. Because it's got this nice triple bar. Let's see, you got 4 minutes remaining. If this bar, let's see. If this bar closes above 283, the current bar, the current 5 minute, you got a pretty nice triple bar. So Zephin, your job is on a 5 minute candle at 10 o'clock. If that closes above 283, you yell into this into the chat window. Fire in the hole. I say fire in the hole. Because that's going to tell us a triple bar is a pretty strong. Some people would argue it's not anything, but I've found I've traded it several times, and every time. I like this one. Every time I've made money on a triple bar. When I found them, the problem is you can't find them often. But 283 is what you're looking for. If it's above 283. It's a semi-triple bar when it closes underneath. But right now, if you want to put a buy-in at 270. See, but it doesn't have enough time to move up there. It's only got 2 minutes. We got less than 2 minutes left. I got a lot of notes to put in. So VRO. I will show you Tesla at 80. Let me show you. And remember, I said Tesla was going to 80. The market disagrees. The market doesn't always say what I do. That's why I'm no genius. But if you go to a daily and you move Tesla back, and TrendSpider only allows me to go to a certain level, but there's this gap between 82 and 84. People said I was crazy when I said we'd cover this gap between 137 and 140 while we were up in this neighborhood. And boy, it looked like we were not going to because it was moving upwards. Then it moved down. Oh, we're not going to because it's moving. Oh, we're not going to because it's moving upward. And boom, we meet it. Ooh, is it? Yep, you got your triple bar. Fire in the hole. Fire in the hole. I'm putting in a buy. We're going Bed Bath & Beyond for a couple. I'm putting in 285. No, I'm sorry. Where's the VWAP? VWAP is at 267. I'm going to put it in for 280. I think it halted. Yeah, Bed Bath & Beyond's halted. You do not want to buy when it's halted. If you have an open order, cancel it. I want to make sure it's halted, but I think it's halted. See you, George. I got to call you to go for a hike, too. I think my Active Trader Pro's just busted. Oh, it wasn't halted. Yeah, my Active Trader Pro is just screwed up. I'm owing 290. Let's go 295 by I just bought in at market. I did what you shouldn't do. But let's see. I gotta grab my laptop. Should have been doing this on my laptop, not on my phone. I bought in at 303. Bum, bum, bum. We bought in at 303. Not a good thing. That'd be good. I'm not too worried. Look at that candle. I mean, the triple bar is pretty... like I said, it's pretty strong. Would have liked to get it down there under 3. But at 303, maybe I put in another order. We're there. I got my laptop now. I mean, that, like I said, that triple bar, it's pretty freaking strong. Just you are a good amount away from that triple bar. Zephin, that's because your ass holds through the weekend. You don't hold short squeezes through the weekend. Essentially, what they've done is they sold a bunch of stores and they're putting everything on the market. And so, yeah. What do I want to sell at? VRO, man, $2.99. I'm telling you, under 3, great price for this one. It's gonna halt. Hopefully, George is still seeing my genius trades here. So this bar has to hold the middle of this bar. So say, what's this bar? Between 289 and 312. So about $3. So if this bar holds $3, we should be okay still. If it breaks $3, sell for whatever loss you're in. I should have this. Oh boy, I need to put this. There we go. Okay. Did this fucker halt? No. Why does it do this? Boy, this woman on CNBC has made a fashion choice with these glasses. Let this kind of be a tip. When your boy gets in with his own money, I'm up 6%. I'm making lunch money. The only thing you have to worry about, again, if this candle holds 3, we're still good. What you want to do is determine, and I usually do it on 5-minute candles. VRO, I thought you were trading a lot. Yeah, it's starting to lose its mojo a little bit now. See, the Bollinger Band that you have here, it's automatically a magnet, and it wants to be pulled back down there. And so you're setting up this volume shelf here at about 308 to 312. And that's where a lot of people seem to have gotten in, and it was based on this triple bar right here, green bar, red bar, green bar. It's a pretty strong move for a 5-minute chart. And you're at 10:08, so you got 2 more minutes. And this bar, again, this bar was between 289 and 312. So this one has to hold 3. But remember, we went all the way up here to 340? 328, 326. It's picking up steam again. You got 1 more minute for this bar to close. I'm waiting for this bar to close. That right tick on my candlestick is going to be key. No. Okay, so see how that right we closed this candle at 316. It went from 326 to 307, so 316 is on the high end of the half, but not super high end. I think I might put in my sell order at 325. I think I'm going to put in a sell order at 325. Sell all. And of course, I go to put it in. Let's say 330. I think it'll hit that, and that gets me my 10%. 333. Am I being too greedy? I'm going to say 325. Man, I hate this. I got out at 319. I got out at 319. That red candle is just not, I mean, it's pulling back. You can stay in it if you want to. Let me see. I had a gain of $25. 25 total dollars. So that red candle worried the fuck out of me. So I got out as quickly as I could. But what's that? A 10-minute trade that was not exactly timed correctly. I probably should have gotten in around, I'd say 275, somewhere in that neighborhood where I saw this one being super strong. Journaling the trade, 280 might have been the best bet here. We can go to 1-minute candles. We can look at it a little bit better. One-minute candles here. And again, I would, if I were really day trading a lot of money, I would have several charts open. And I would be doing this in Active Trader Pro. I just don't want to do it with you guys, seeing my portfolio and stuff. But the 1-minute trade, you can see the 1-minute chart where it lost right here, confirmation, and it's just continuing to go down. You know, that yellow line there at 303, 304, that's providing it some support right there. And I might get back in. But it doesn't have confirmation up there. So, okay, let me finish this. I need to text George too. You did good, Zephin. I should tip you. I'll buy you lunch. Yeah. Yeah, and Zephin, you can always get back into Bed Bath & Beyond, I mean. You can always get back in. Doesn't mean that you have to stay out of it. Just my suggestion would be to have a 5-minute chart and a 1-minute chart. And maybe a 10-minute chart as well. Just have them lined up. And you can see the movement above the 9-day, above the 21-day. When it loses it on the 1 minute, when it's still got it on the 5-minute. 5-minute charts I always found best to trade on. 1-minute charts I always find best for confirmation to sell on. PBTS. Sherry, you weren't on earlier. We could have used, let's see. Sherry needs to tell us when she's, Nice trade, Sherry. It's traded 48 million shares already. Wow. Let me get this episodes. Let me get the podcast posted. Some people like it a little. Notes. There we go. Bum, 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 bum. We're going to say... Okay. I'll be out there a couple times this year, I think, for MLS, Zephin. You can come to the ticket booth. I'll get you a ticket to the MLS game if you want. Where's Bed Bath & Beyond right now? $293. Oh, it's breaking down. It's not. So here's the thing, Evan. Because my charts are the algorithm is 4 hour. Let me post this. What should I title this? Market update 1:30:23. Okay, publish now. Okay. Or I'll bring you back over to Tesla. Safari view. So here's Tesla. The problem, this is a daily. The Problem is the current candlestick, when you look at it, I mean, it's just going to be a live candlestick. It's a red candlestick, but it's still got confirmation above that 9-day. Even if it breaks down, and this is the daily. If we go to our algorithm and you look at the algorithm on a 4-hour, Sherry, congratulations. My neighbor's a flight attendant. Sherry, full disclosure, Zephan is a 19-year-old kid who gambles his money on Bed Bath & Beyond. But here's Tesla. See how you're above the Bollinger Band. I don't think it's breaking down. You have a gap here between 154 and 147. If I were to guess, if we were to pull back, that's where we're pulling back to. If you're going, full bore ahead, you're coming to this 255, 264 gap. At minimum, if you're going ahead, you got 197. So my guess is, Sherry, my neighbors all work for Delta. So, and I've got a buddy who works in Newark Airport, John, who, best guy in the world. And he works at Newark for United. He was a Continental Redcoat for so long. One of the best guys I know. Honest to God, best guys in life. He just, wants to do good for everybody. But I don't think Tesla is breaking down. Will you see it down today? Probably, but just look at the run that it's had. I mean, health-wise, how can it not pull back? So I'm going to move you back over to Active Trader Pro. And see, I hate when it does this. Glad I got out of Bed Bath & Beyond. I hope you guys did too. That's a 1-minute chart, and you can see the boom up. Oh, Sherry, you're a queen, absolute queen. I've heard the Sydney flight I've done once. From Atlanta to Sydney. We stopped in San Francisco during Game 7 of the World Series where the Cubs won. I did that flight. I haven't been to London. I went to India a bunch. But I think the Australia flight, the Sydney flight, was the longest. And I love Sydney. Australia is my favorite country in the world. Well, I should say Australia and Japan are probably my two favorite countries I've been to. If you're looking at Tesla and you think it's going to pull back, I think TSLQ or is it TSLI? I think both are shorts of Tesla. One-time short Tesla daily and TSLQ. Is there TSLS? I don't think there's TSLS. Yeah. This is a bear for Tesla. TSLQ is the one. Is that the 1.5 up? No, this is the bear as well. The culture is amazing in India. One thing I will tell you is that if you have a significantly strong sense of smell, Indian cities will overwhelm you. Good and bad. Sherry, you're living the life everybody dreams of. TSLQ, I think, is it's a 1.5 times bear. So you're up 2.5% today. No, we don't brag on here, Sherry. Sherry, you're just like me. I don't know. You look younger than I do, but you're like me. You're just kind of investing and traveling. And I got 2 dogs, so I can't travel as much as I like. Plus anxiety. My happy place is on my couch with my dog, so I tend to sit there a lot. Okay, I gotta push out the Twitter. Listen to my podcast. I'm on Twitter. There's a bunch of them, Zephin. We're going to take this, copy this. Then we're going to do this and paste this. And we'll we'll say, oh, I can't change that. That'll change the link. AXP. Boom. Intel. Anchor's still doing that shit. God, I hate Twitter. I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe it's Safari. Maybe I have to finally switch to Chrome. But I should probably just share this stuff from we're gonna tweet. I'll let you know. Oh, we have to buy into my weekly stock pick. His pick. I'm going to buy into that in my Webull account. SQQQ, SOXL, SOXS. We're going to put in Tesla. We're going to put in Carvana is up. Neo. We're going to put in GMVD. We're going to put in Ford's in there. We're going to put in Mara. We're going to put in Baba. CCL. Rivian. That's it. Okay. Tweet. Let me see what my first... actually, I'm going to go here. Episodes... okay. Just so you guys know, you can't make a living podcasting. it's going to ding me. Cat again? Okay. I'm going to get into cat. I hope I didn't just show that. I guess I didn't. Okay. I'm going to be right back, but I am getting into cat. I'll be right back, and I'm going to trade cat. Okay. Let's see cat. I'm going to look at cat. Cat. Let's look short term. 1 minute trade. It doesn't have confirmation. I want to add another chart. So am I able to, I guess I can't. Let me move you guys back over and see if I can do this real quick. I'll move you back over here, and we're going to look at cat. This is a 4-hour look at cat. So cat had a buy-in here at 233. You've got earnings coming up. God, today? Is it after the bell? Pre-market. So they came out already. So let's look at cat here. Because they should have some earnings. 295 is the price target, and you're at 264. This is at 814. Let me see. Where is my weekly stock? Let's see. YouTube live buying. Let's get this link. We're gonna go to our YouTube and 19 watching. Let's look at this. Oh, I have to lower the volume. I'm gonna share this out. 19 watching and only 14 thumbs up. Somebody's slacking. Somebody's slacking. We'll go back here. And we're going to do, okay, tweet. We're going to look at, we looked at cat here. We looked at cat here. What I want to do is see if I can do two charts. No, I'm not going to save it there. Let's see how this bones up. I don't think it's going to like it. It already doesn't like it. No, it's slow. I had to show. I don't know why it's saying SQQQ isn't allowed. I tightened up the. Here we go. Okay, this says it's slow. But what we want. Oh boy, and see. I can tell already. We're going to move. Amazon's looking like a good buy here on a 1-minute chart. Cat. I'm going to bring you guys back over. I don't care about Message Center. Okay, let's close that. Close this. Gonna move that over there. I'm gonna move you guys to a. I'm gonna close that. We're going to do a 5-minute chart. And we're going to move this to orange. I should just move it to gray. And let's do cat. There we go. Now, I don't think you'll be able to see this. No, you can't really see it. So I got a, this is going to be a 5-minute chart. You're not going to be able to really see it. That is a 5-minute chart up top and a 1-minute chart down bottom. And cat looks like, I'm not going to play too much with the price, but I think I'm going to put in a buy at 263. It could. I can take a look at it. Don't pressure your boy. Your boy is here trying to buy cat. I'm trying to buy it in my Webull account. So I'm going to put in. My Webull account is down to 1133. And that's because I've lost 15% in SQQQ. So I might have to dollar cost average that one. But let's see. We're going to... we're going to look up cat. And I'm going to put in a buy at 263. $50. I think 263.70 is going to be about it. We're going to buy 2. Okay. We've got an order in for 263.70. 2 shares. And I picked 263.70 because the VWAP is at 264, but it seems to be trading at around 263.80, and it's on its way down, so I just arbitrarily picked 263.70. Just so you're aware. I didn't do any scientific thing around it. Nothing. So I am going to go back to just a chart. That's my layout. And I'm not going to save that. But we're going to go back to just a chart. We're going to shrink that down a little bit. Whoa. I guess I can shrink this down. Well, this is funny. Why do I have this? Oh, that's because it's not that layout. It's this layout. I got too many accounts open between my Fidelity. Which one is Sherry in again? PB. PBTS. Is that up here? No. PBTS. Down at 14. Boy, this one's not. This one's moving by tenths of a cent. Let's see, Bed Bath & Beyond. Holy shit! I'm gonna show you guys one. You guys keep screaming about Bed Bath & Beyond. Want to see a short squeeze? This is the one we should have been playing. This is the one we should have been playing. Because when we were trading this was around 540. We're at 658 right now. You guys ain't watching this shit like I am. SOFI's moving too. If SPY hits under 4, let's look at, hold on, I'm going to move you back to Safari. And so let's go look at SPY. So when James says if it breaks 4,000, S&P breaks 4,000. If SPY breaks 400, let's say. You're currently buying in SPY. It's kind of got the button hook, like it looks like it's gotten down, but you've had that button hook a couple of times here. I don't see. I'll bring it back here. I think that's probably a good enough. So here, if you see the volume shelf here at 393, I think even 390. I mean, the biggest volume shelf is obviously 382. That brings you back to December 30th. Let's look. You guys are killing me. Let's see. 5-minute chart, crew chief. Let's look. Bum, bum, bum. I like my triple bars on the 5-minute. The 1 minute's a little bit tough. Not really. So what you want in a triple bar, and here, let's go over. I'm going to go to YouTube. Zip Trader triple bar. There's a good, Zip Trader has a really good, let's see, share. I'm going to copy. If you want to read up on the triple bar, you can, I think this is what he says. There's a couple of them. And I think Charlie's the one. There's a couple of them. There's one. The first one is how to make $100 a day, simple steps. And by the way, for my, what did I make? $30, $50, somewhere in the neighborhood. I think I only risked about $500-600. It wasn't much this morning. So it's not like you have to risk a lot of money to make these little ones. But triple bars are hard because there's no oh, there's 13 chapters. Oh, these have chapters. Okay. There's no automatic, hey, we found a triple bar. I wouldn't say that this is a triple bar just because it's not just green, red, green. It's green followed by a red that's higher, like you see here. See how this green bar, and it's a big green bar. You go from a low of 256 up to a high of 277. So you have all of what, 10% within that? That's a big move for one 5-minute bar. Then you have a red bar that goes low 269 to a high of 283. That's another 13 cents. It's not quite 10%, but it's about 5%. And you have it extending up. And then your next triple bar, the clear point that I saw was you not only have a triple bar that starts kind of at the bottom of that red bar, but you also have a green bar that winds up at the very top. So it closed
at 290 and its high was 290. Then you had another green bar. And so 290 was obviously the play. I just had to go grab my freaking laptop. And you had this bar, which opened up at 290 and it got to its high at 312. Well, guess where it closed? At 312. Your next bar is probably the bar that you really have to look out on. And it closed at 317, which was probably when I was saying, hey, I want to sell at 320, probably being greedy because the high was 328. It opened up at 312. And so the absolute middle is 320, but it closed at 317. This one opened up at 316. It got to 325. So I could have sold at 320 at this bar. My ass just got greedy and I was like, okay, once it passed 320, I'm just going to chase it up to 320. And I think I wound up selling, I think I told you guys 318, somewhere in that neighborhood. But you can see it just broke down. So you want those big bars. And you want, essentially, I didn't bring it up at the time, and I didn't look at it to be perfectly clear. I was more worried about getting my freaking laptop because sometimes those triple bars run for like the next 20 minutes, which is 4 candles on a 5-minute bar. So if they run for 20 minutes and they continue to run, you could have gone from 3 to 6. I mean, I've seen that before. And if you're lucky enough to be in there, the problem is finding this. You don't want to sit in front of your fucking computer for, the whole day looking for this stuff. But a triple bar, in my mind, again, there is no scientific proof around this. But you can Google on YouTube triple bars and you can find them. And they're great. And let's see if GNS has a triple bar here on a 5-minute candle. We can zoom in and look at the triple bars here. See if there is one. This is kind of like one. But in hindsight, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, obviously it was going higher because it did go higher. But see how this green candle, it wound up green. It wasn't red. And so you could have bought in this one and made a lot of money because you went from 580 all the way up to 727. But, again, I mean, hindsight is 2020. You went outside the Bollinger Bands. More luck than anything. But the triple bar, I don't see one in here. I just don't. This one maybe, but, again, it's more luck than anything, I think. But a triple bar is if you get those bars, then statistically you can. Watch those 2 videos from Charlie. I don't know. I think that's where I learned the triple bar from was Charlie. But it's a good one. Let's see. Did I fill cat? I filled cat. I filled cat and I'm up. Who else got in on cat? Anybody else in on cat? I want to tell him I'm in on cat. Let's see. Not earnings watcher. Let's see. Six or was it 263.70? I told him to mention all you degenerates in the newsletter on Saturday. if we do well. Hey, Joe. Joe, you missed all the fun. Oh, yeah. Follow, why not? Anybody else see a Lucid in the wild? I saw a Lucid this weekend. Nice car, by the way. Let's see. Let's see if PBST has a PBTS. Let's see if this has a triple bar. I don't think it will. You kind of do, but see how that red bar is kind of below the green? There isn't one that stands out to me. Let's look at ACAN. Is this one that was running? It was. What's ConAg? Let's see. Is that the International Construction Trade Show? Oh, that's that's where they show off all the new stuff. I'm telling you, Caterpillar here. Bank of America Securities, $295 price target. I mean, sure, it's high because in October it was at 167. But I think Cat, here, if we go back, I'll bring you over to Safari. Cat's on this run since September that has just been crazy good. And you do have this gap down here between 206 and 198. But I wouldn't expect it to come. There's got to be something catastrophic that happens. Yeah. Larry, do you work that show or something, or you just kind of know about it? If I full disclosure, I've thought about moving to Vegas because I'm relatively good at trade show, like booth candy. I am booth candy. You kidding with this hair? I am booth candy. And Sherry, that'd be a great place for you to kind of settle down, I would think, too. Since they have an international airport. But I don't think a lot, Atlanta's good for me in that I can fly pretty much anywhere from here. My only worry about Cat right now is this RSI. The RSI at what, 73? 72.46 with earnings coming up today after the bell. ConAg is agricultural, heavy equipment kind of show. If you've done anything with trade shows, if you've done anything with agriculture stuff, it's kind of the CES of Caterpillar. Deere. Deere's another one that probably spends, I'd say, 100, 10, 15, 20 million just on that 1 week. Let's see. Amazon under 100 again. I said it before. I think Amazon looked weak on the short term. I think you could trade Amazon today. Yeah. You got a little bounce here from 99. You could trade a 2% gain up to like 102 or something. Larry? I'd walk right past and go, Larry? Bed Bath & Beyond looks like it's on a little bit of a run again. Is it getting a second leg? Crew Chief, man, you might have been good buying in there at that triple bar at around 290 again. It's got some momentum. I mean, it's above that 9-day again. You cinched up these Bollinger Bands. They've kind of, that bottom has really come up. And it's well above the VWAP at 292. And your volume is ticking up. Let's see what it looks like on the 1 minute. You know what? I should pull up Active Trader Pro on my laptop and look at it. Yeah, it's got this. This has some momentum. Look at the 1 minute. So, and I don't like this, but Crew Chief, when you brought up the triple bar, I think it was right around here. It's not great because it's what's called baby bars. I mean, you know, within a 1 minute period, it traded between 294 and 298, which is nothing. That's 4 cents on a $3 stock. As long as that's the only thing you spread, Larry, in Vegas, that's good. Yeah, so, and I have friends in Vegas. By the way, I was, way back in 2002, I was supposed to go and work and be in charge of a good portion of the marketing team in Vegas. And wow, this is moving now. We have the starts of a triple bar, I bet, on a 5 minute. We have a little gap there. It's moving again. This one won't get a triple bar. Larry was right, man. Or I'm sorry. Crew Chief was right. Crew Chief, you still around? You were right on this one. I told my buddy George was on here earlier, and I said, you missed all the live action. And he's like, I heard most of it. And I was like, no, you know, you missed the Bed Bath & Beyond. And he goes, if I were buying Bed Bath & Beyond, I would look, I would kind of look, and I can't draw on this. Here's Active Trader Pro. I would look to the tops of these bars. Here, you know what? I can do this in... Here. I can draw on this. Bed Bath & Beyond. And we'll go to... Let's see if the algorithm has you out losing 3.8%, by the way. Let's go to a 5 minute chart. I know I may have talked you out. The boomer may have talked you out of it. I would kind of look at, okay, so if I have to hit 3, I would look right here right at $3, okay? And I would say your top is going to be 326. So it's not quite 10%, but I would put that buy-in at $3 because I do think you've got some stuff there. Crew Chief, if you are new, I hope you're new so that I can teach you a little bit. We don't YOLO. We don't, and this was what I was telling George is I was legendary in our little trading group. So a bunch of us left Earthlink, and George left a little later than we did, but me and a couple of other guys, and we were pretty heavy traders. And one guy would usually look to the rest of us to get in to just kind of be, hey, let's see if we can get in on this one. And he'd go, I'll put in $5,000 if you guys are putting in $5,000. And I'd fucking just scream, Leroy Jenkins. Leroy! And I'd go in 20, 25 grand, 30 grand. And before we knew it, we were up like, 5, 10, 15%. Yeah, so Leroy Jenkins is the new YOLO. Crew, man, keep listening. Listen to the podcast. Join us in the morning. I am not a guy who's going to make you 30, 40% in a day. I'm not going to make you 100% in a day. What I do guarantee you is that you'll learn to find quality plays for swing trades, for long-term trades, and to make sure that you build your base and understand what you're investing in. That's kind of where I'm at is I'm not going to make you rich overnight. And I know a lot of people, if we go to YouTube Live over here, let's just go to live. And I'm going to watch those triple plays again by Charlie because I like going back on that. Look, naked short selling live class. This guy's he's good. He knows what he's talking about. And I don't want to, tell you that he's not smart. So essentially what he's talking about is short sale restriction. A broker is not supposed to take a short sale from a person unless they have the actual shares and are holding the shares within their portfolio to be able to, so that the short seller can buy the shares at a lower price. So a broker is supposed to hold on to that. What naked short selling is something like GNS. You look at GNS and they have 10 million shares out there. Now, supposedly, there's a 0.35% short interest on this. Well, that's not true. There's something like 14 or 15 million shares that are shorted in GNS. Bed Bath & Beyond is another one. Bed Bath & Beyond, their short interest is 45.82%. That's bullshit. They floated 115 million shares. There's something like 300 million shares that are shorted, supposedly. And that's because a lot of these brokerages don't have to say how many they've shorted. They just kind of do it, and they hope that it goes up and gets in a squeeze, and then they make a lot of money, and the actual hedge fund that's shorting it loses a lot of money. So that's what naked short squeeze is. Yeah, Bed Bath & Beyond. Honest to God, I'd probably look at $3 as a base here. Because it doesn't look like you're getting too far. Even if you go down to 280, it looks like you're putting in a decent pace. Look at that VWAP right there at 293. That's the pink line. The other one I'm interested in, man, short squeeze wise, is GNS. GNS is the one that has some legs, it seems. I mean, think about it. In pre-market, you could have gotten in at $4. You're up at $6. That's a 50% gain. And you had all the confirmation in the world. I mean, even on this pullback, and it went back down to 5. So you made only 25% if you got out here. Boo-hoo. But this is where the closer you get to 12 o'clock, the more the volume just drops off and people just start going about their day. And so then you get into the situation where, yeah, it could start squeezing, but you're in rug pull situation. I think if this goes below $3 again, I think I might get in for another $1,000. But you know what? It's 11:15. I'm getting out of here. I'll be back on tomorrow. hit the like button if you're on here right now, because I know I've made you money. And James, just so you know, here, let's go back. Let's show you. SQQQ is getting a little bounce up. It's got the kind of button hook that you like to see, but it still the algorithm still hasn't gotten you in. The RSI is down there. You got your Fed decision. Is it tomorrow? When is the Fed meeting? January 28th, 29th, released. Oh, come on. 30th. So the meeting's on the 31st. They released it on the 1st. I think that's when it is. Yeah. So, I mean, all this is it's a triple levered ETF. By the way, I had a good discussion, and I say discussion. There was a woman on Zip Trader, which they won't let me in for some reason, by the way. I think it's because I'm a podcaster. They won't let me with this account. I can't read all Tom's stuff. They won't let me get into Zip Trader Circle. They keep denying me. See, it says pending, but they keep denying me. And so in this group, on my personal Facebook, there was a woman who was saying just buy TQQQ for the long term. And I said, no. You don't want to do that. You want to buy QQQ. You want to actually own something. TQQ is just a bunch of options and levered stuff that just expires. It won't make you money. Now, here's the killer. This is what I did, CNBC.com. And this is what's interesting. Zip Trader is not a fee-based group. I will never lead you into a fee-based group. And this is, so for her thing, I went back and she said just buy it for long term and don't buy options. You should just buy TQQQ. And she goes, it well outperforms the market. In a bull market, she's right. And I'll show you in a bull market, she's right. So here's the last 1 year. The red, you're down 17% on QQQ, but you're down 60% in 1 year on TQQQ. Now you go to 5 year, and it's a little bit more interesting where you're up 71% on QQQ. You're only up 47% on TQQQ. Now, if you go all, this goes way back to 2000. And you've got 459% in QQQQ. You've got 3,433 in TQQQ. I don't, again, this is a crazy bull market that we've been on for the last 23 years with some hiccups back here. And TQQ didn't come about until 2013. So since 2013, you're up. The logic of it, though, should I buy TQQQ or QQQ? You go to Investopedia, and even they say TQQ, among levered ETFs, TQQ is one of the largest, blah, 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 pros and cons, which is better. For those who believe that NASDAQ will spike in the short run, TQQQ may be a better option. Is QQQ levered? No. QQQ owns the actual stocks. Here's the key. Unlike traditional ETFs, levered ETFs like TQQQ have a higher turnaround and utilize derivative contracts. These features make them less tax efficient. In general, taxable distributions from such EPS are taxed as ordinary income. That's a key point. So say, for instance, you go back here and we compare TQQQ. So say, for instance, you take this, 459%. Okay? You take a 459% gain. That's taxed as long-term capital gains. So you're only charged 15% on that. Say you take this 3,433% gain. That's taxed as no ordinary income based on whatever amount that is. But if it's over $400,000, that's probably 50 to 60% taxed. So you're losing half of it. Now you're still up, but depending on your tax basis, you may actually be down. So, PFIX. You can get into Zip Trader Circle, I think, VRO. Listen, there are YOLOs like you guys in there. Let me look at PFIX. What is PFIX? Oh, it's our interest hedge. I don't know anything about this. The chart doesn't interest me. What is PFIX? Due to exchange traded fund, the advisor seeks to achieve the fund's investment by investing in U.S. Treasuries or TIPS. Now, I mean, let's see. ETF.com, PFIX. Okay. Question for you. So, yes, it's got a buy-in here at 61.29 on the algorithm. The algorithm makes you 26% versus 22%, which is buy and hold. This is not something in my mind that you necessarily hold on to because it seems like it's a decaying asset. It protects against rising interest rates. So as interest rates rise, this one seems to go up. Seems to, but it's brand new. It doesn't even have a 200-day on the weekly. As rates were going down to zero, you can see it came down here to 39. And then you start to get rising rates. And so, of course, it goes up. But you're at 4 something right now. What's the Fed interest rate now? The current Fed interest rate between 4.25 and 4.5. They want that at almost 5. Why are you going to invest in this? Do you think it's going to 8, 9%? Do you think it's going to 10%? It's a hedge. It's a hedge against interest rates going up. So as interest rates go up, this one will go up. As interest rates go down, guess where this one's going? Well, you know what? They're talking about interest rates at the end of this year maybe being closer, the Fed interest rate from being 4.25 to 4.5 down to maybe 3.75 to 4. Could be 5%. Ain't going much higher. So where do you think this one's going? Probably down. That would be my take on it, James. So, Sonny, if you're new, first off, you have to subscribe because I'm giving you a free chart analysis. I just went over this. So here's our algorithm on a SQQQ. This one is a decaying asset, so you don't want to hold it very long. You want to basically try. It's down here. The RSI is at 35. It's coming off at 27. At some point, this has to come up. It's got the 9-day. I always talk about these button hooks in these things. If you listen long enough, you'll see button hooks. And see the button hooks at the top? Well, we have button hooks at the bottom too. The RSI is super low. The MACD is just about going up. But who knows? The Fed is expected to do 0.25. If they do 0.5 instead of 0.25, you best bet we're coming back up to this $50 range on SQQQ. If they do 0.25, I think you're still probably seeing maybe 43 in this. We've just been on a run. TQQQ, I say it all the time. TQQQ under 20, buy it under 20. Or buy it under 20, sell it over 20. Simple as that. You're seeing a button hook in TQQQ. It's down today. I own SQQQ at a significantly higher price. SQQQ, did it fake me out? It did fake me out. So see this button hook right here? I said, you know what? I'm going to buy this at 46.20. No, I think I heard this morning on CNBC, the Fed expected rate hike, Mohamed Alarian said, is 0.25%, not 0.5. So if they do anything more than 0.25, you're going to see this SQQQ just spike. That's my take on it. So Sonny, I hope you subscribe. I hope you hit that like button. I hope you guys have a great day. I'm SQQQ. I'm holding. I think it's all of. Let me tell you, SQQ. I'm holding. I am down 15% on SQQQ. I am still holding it. I own $200 worth. In my, and it's down 15%. That's in my Webull account. So I'm limited in trading it to 4 trades a week. So I bought it in there by mistake. I'm just like, okay, I should probably get out. But I do expect it this week to be kind of, I think Apple's going to be worse than expected, to be honest with you. And you've had this crazy run. I expect Apple to be probably just below the 200-day. I expect it to come down to this 140 range. So, where are we on best? You guys keep sucking me back in. Sonny, high five. I love you. Yeah, I'm going to walk my 10 miles for today. It is now 11:20. It is 52 degrees outside. No rain in the forecast for today. So I'm going to go let the dogs take them for a walk, and then I'm going to go out and walk. Thanks, Sonny. Subscribe to the podcast as well if you want. All the links are down below in a link tree. And usually just so if everyone's here knows, the way, and I need to do this video as well, is that I envision, so I'm at the center of this, but then there's different kind of, things that come out. So one angle is the podcast, and you can listen to that mobile. You don't have to watch it. You can listen to it mobile. One angle is the YouTube, and that includes the chart and stuff. Another angle that I still need to start is a newsletter that I'll start, where I collect your email addresses and I'll do stuff like that. But another angle that I see that comes out for me is you guys doing the work yourself, and that's subscribing to TrendSpider and basically just doing your own scans. I'll give you my algorithm. I'll give you everything that you need. And if it right now, let me see. If I look at TrendSpider, let's go over here. Safari View and pricing and plans. Let's look. Pricing and plans. $780 paid yearly, but I give you 25% off. So let's see. I'm gonna get out of here because I don't need you on. We're gonna up the volume. What's 70? Oh no. What's 780 minus 25%?
The answer is $585.
$585. If I can't make you $585, that's for 1 year. If I can't make you $585 in a year, you shouldn't be subscribing to TrendSpider because you're not trading enough. B, your portfolio may just be not big enough. But yeah. Let me see. Why am I... Puru. It's Puru, not Piru. Puru. Peru is the country. Let's see. Soft landing. Did I post it? Oh, the following growth stocks have hit their last spring and been building a stage 1 base for several months. Snowflake I like. I'll look at them later. Let's see. I'll put these in my notes. I'll put these in my notes for tomorrow. Let's put title. We're going to go Tuesday from Puru for okay. I've got them in my thing for tomorrow. Bed Bath & Beyond is holding that $3. If I were trading, and I'm not going to trade because I am going for a walk, but if I were trading, I might do that. Look for CAT earnings today after the bell. Let's see. CAT is down to about where I bought it. So if you guys want to get in, it's down to about where I bought it. I am up. How is that right? Market value. I don't know how that's right. My Webull account is up at 11:30. But I'm down for the day. So, market's turning around. I think it's turning around. I don't know. Okay, I'm out. Enjoy your day.